Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. The Jamaica Constabulary Force moving full speed ahead in 2023 in its fight against crime. Prime Minister says road repairs will be top priority in the next fiscal year. And later in sports, Brazil football giant Pelé laid to rest. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson is promising results where crime fighting is concerned in 2023. While not expounding on the plan, he urged members of the force to prepare for a successful year ahead. He was speaking this morning at the Commissioner's annual devotion. Details in this report. Some 1,498 people were killed for the year 2022, a 2% increase compared to the corresponding year. 2023 has also started on a worrying note, but Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson is optimistic that crime will be contained in the new year.
And you know why? Because I have the team, we have the plans, we have the changes that got interrupted in 2020 and 2021. We pushed through in 2022. That by the end of the year, we started to see the benefits of it. And 2023, and set the conditions to launch in 2023 with a new energy, with a number of the things that were delayed now in place.
But he said the success of his plans will be determined by the mindset of the officers.
We had great plans. Lots of people had great plans that they intended to do. And then COVID. So we know that. Probably this generation, those who lived through COVID know that more than anyone else. We know this. But it doesn't matter what is thrown at you. How you choose to react to it is entirely our own choice. So my advice, my exhortation is to choose solutions.
Despite the challenges, Major Anderson is confident his members are committed in getting the job done.
Where people are getting a greater understanding of their own ability to influence what is around them and create a positive influence in other people's lives and also in their own lives. When you have that, it doesn't really matter what you lack, because you have enough to move ahead, to make a difference, both professionally and personally.
A suspect has been taken into custody in connection with the death of a British national who was shot dead at a guest house in Boke, St. James yesterday. The deceased has been identified as 33-year-old Sean Patterson, a personal trainer who resided in West London in Britain. Reports are that sometime before midday, Mr. Patterson was at the guest house when he was approached by a man with a handgun. It is reported that the gunman chased Mr. Patterson and shot him multiple times. The suspect was allegedly deported from England in 2013. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is urging Jamaicans not to allow gangs to take control of the country.
Somehow, young men between 15 and 25, they find comfort with other young men. It's a fact of modern life. And those who have nothing worthwhile to do always find something idle or unworthy to do. And that is how you get gangs being formed. And when they form, their main focus is power. How they can get power, and they will ensure that they control communities with that power.
Speaking at the commissioning ceremony for 43 new justices of the peace for St. James, he appealed to citizens to do more to help the police fight crime.
I would like to say to you, Justice of the Peace, as I will be going and urging right across Jamaica, especially the churches, we need to ask the families, the girlfriends, the mothers, the sisters, the fathers, to expose where the guns are. The government is determined that the guns must be taken off the streets.
Yet another rural school is grappling with widespread theft of its resources. Principal of the Seafield High School, Primary and Infant School in St. Catherine, Shireen Moore, says this is preventing the institution of sustaining itself. More in this report.
Situated in deep rural St. Catherine, the Seafield Primary and Infant School has been a regular target for thieves. The school engages in farming to offset some of its expenses. But Principal Shireen Moore says the lack of adequate security has made it difficult for the school to protect its farm. Ms. Moore laments that as a result, it has become a common practice for thieves to raid the farm. She also adds that inadequate security poses a threat to the 76 students and 5 teachers at the school.
Most times things are missing on weekends because we don't have security for weekend. Not only that, though we have a fence, but it is some in terms of personnel, we are short. We are short on persons to monitor the children during break time. We are short on personnel in that regards.
The Seafield Past Students Association has been undertaking projects to help. So far, the association has installed closed-circuit television as well as lighting at strategic points.
The camera that was instituted by the past students have assisted in that regards greatly. It helps to cut down on complaints from both parents and students. So when somebody comes to complain about a matter, and you query it and you're not getting anywhere, it is just nice to know that we can always play back the cameras to check.
We believe that if we all give back, it can help the school and the community to develop even more.
Secretary Patrice Moore says the association has more plans to help improve the school's infrastructure.
We have one of our projects that we're working on right now. We plan on launching a scholarship for 3 students who will graduate at the end of this academic year to give them scholarships into high school. We are currently working on a chicken coop project as well to help to supplement lunch for students at the school. We are building a kitchen in the back for events. We have a number of initiatives going on and more.
In the meantime, an appeal from the principal.
So I'm appealing to you. If you take from your own, you won't have any. Eventually, you'll find that the school will diminish, persons will leave, we won't have enough resources to carry on some things. So I'm asking you, please assist us in maintaining and helping us to farm, to do more farming. Because sadly, I love the farm, but I'm unable to do it. So the truth is, I would love to have more volunteer in that area, instead of persons taking away the stuff from the farm.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
The government says secondary, community and rural road repairs will be one of its priorities in the next fiscal year, which begins in April. Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave the assurance while giving his New Year's message. Goodin Barrett reports.
There were numerous calls last year for the government to address deplorable road conditions across the island. From east to west, residents blocked roads calling for some attention. But despite some $3 billion being allocated towards repairing secondary roads, it was still not enough.
While the allocation is significant, it is a mere drop in the bucket for what is needed to repair all our roads, the vast majority of which have not had routine maintenance and would be at the end of their design life. In the next financial year, more focus will be given to these secondary roads and rural roads.
Mr. Holness further noted that the usage of land across the island will once again be looked at. However, this will be done through a national conversation based on the ravaging effects of climate change.
Later this year, we will confirm the new development order for the corporate area and announce plans to redevelop town centres in all parishes to rationalise settlement in Jamaica in an orderly, sustainable and resilient manner.
Garbage collection issues will also be tackled.
We are far advanced with the development of a business case for an integrated waste management solution that will involve a new sanitary landfill to replace Riverton, the divestment of municipal waste collection and management, and the development of a waste-to-energy plant. The solution will be implemented through a public-private partnership, and aspects of the plan will begin to manifest this year.
Cody Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
The National Road Safety Council is scheduled to meet with stakeholders next Thursday to evaluate and plan the way forward to reduce motor vehicle crashes. Last year, 488 people died as a result of motor vehicle crashes. This is compared to 486 people in 2021. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, says the nation has to respond to what he deems a crisis.
The National Road Safety Council has therefore scheduled an evaluation and planning meeting for next Thursday, January 12th. With the help of the special appointee from the Prime Minister, Minister Floyd Green, we are going to look very carefully at the data, look at what happened last year and what can be improved, look ahead to what tools will be given to us this year, and see if we can remodel the tools which we already have. Seek to find dedicated funding for the program for road safety in this country, and to examine all possibilities that will assist us in dealing with this national crisis. Everybody must be galvanized to reduce the carnage on our roads, the suffering and the pain, the cost to the health sector, and so many other aspects of road safety which impacts our development. It is a major issue in terms of public order, but it is equally a major issue for national development.
14 people sustained injuries Sunday night when the motor cars in which they were traveling crashed along the coastal highway at Huddersfield, St. Mary. According to reports, about 7:30 p.m., the driver of a Toyota Wish attempted to make a U-turn. A Toyota Probox that was heading towards Ucharia slammed into the side of the Toyota Wish. The occupants of both vehicles were taken to hospital. Operators of public passenger vehicles are gearing up for the full implementation of the Road Traffic Act. The new act is set to take effect on February 1. President of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Service, Edgerton Newman, says operators are making every effort to clear outstanding traffic tickets.
Is looking for 2023 to be a year of action in the public transport sector. We have started a process of transformation in 2022, which we will continue in 2023. At present, we have some challenges with a number of our operators trying to find the wherewithal to underwrite their outstanding ticket costs, preparing themselves for the implementation of the new Road Traffic Act. And while we are doing that, we are going to be ensuring that the environment in which we operate our business, considering that the thoroughfare, the roadways is our office, we have to ensure that government set it right.
For the latest in the economy, here's Cody Ann Barrett with the Business Minute.
Business leaders have endorsed the government's request to access $1.7 billion under the International Monetary Fund Precautionary and Liquidity Line and Resilience and Sustainability Facility for Jamaica. Both funding lines are intended to bolster Jamaica's economic and climate resilience buffers and help the country prepare for any future adverse economic or weather-related disruptions. The request is expected to be considered by the fund's executive board in early 2023. In business overseas, electric car maker Tesla says it delivered a record 1.3 million vehicles last year. That's 40% more than in 2021. It comes after the company delivered more than 405,000 vehicles in the last 3 months of 2022. However, that figure missed Wall Street's forecast of around 430,000 deliveries for the period. This year, the motor industry is expected to face slowing demand as potential customers worry about rising interest rates and recession concerns. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
Now for the top regional and international stories.
In regional news, Suriname Airways has announced plans to reintroduce flights to Trinidad and Tobago. This comes more than 6 months after it was forced to suspend services. The airline says it is also adjusting its regional flight schedule for the period March 26 to November 5. On the international scene, the Chinese government is criticizing the COVID-19 testing requirements imposed on Chinese passengers by the United States and European countries. Effective January 8, all COVID-19 containment measures for inbound and outbound travelers in China will be lifted. Officials believe the entry restrictions adopted by some countries targeting China lack scientific basis and some excessive practices are unacceptable. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jermaine Brown.